flame and rivers of shame. The fury, it never leaves me. Reaping the snow, the winter of woe has come here to judge and bereave me. Lock up the rage, it rattles the cage. The fury, it never leaves me. Always within to lurk in the skin, the wounds ever aching so deeply. Try as I may to hide it away, the fury it never leaves me. Long I've suffered the hunger, long I've silenced the cry, long I've fled from the thunder to ascend. Still I try to carry the pain, to keep it contained to the end, to carry the pain, to keep it contained to the end. Pour out the anger and hide it away, lest it spill to the blameless and lead them to pain. In the steel and the rags I will cover the shame, so the innocent need not be judged in my name. Pour out the anger and hide it away, lest it spill to the blameless and lead them to pain. In the steel and the rags I will cover the shame, so the innocent need not be judged in my name. Long I've suffered the hunger, long I've silenced the cry, long I've fled from the thunder to ascend. Still I try to carry the pain, to keep it contained to the end, to carry the pain, to keep it contained to the end. Bellows of pain and scraping of chains, the echoes they haunt and deceive me. Oceans of blame and rivers of shame, the fury it never leaves me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Final Show. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've just got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I want to let everybody know that our addresses have changed. Our Twitch channel has changed from Senstaku to twitch.tv/FinalShowFilms, and our YouTube channel has also changed to youtube.com/FinalShowFilms. Next, we want to thank our $20 tier supporters on Patreon, which is patreon.com/FFilms, by the way, if you want to go throw a couple bucks our way. That's going to be Cat Waterflame, Antitonic, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Monty. Thank you guys for that. Also, our website is in the process of getting updated, so go take a look at finalshowfilms.com. We've got Mara and Jeremy are working on updating all of our stuff there, making it look nice and like a modern website, and frankly, they know what they're doing far better than I or Austin ever did. So if you want to check out the things that are changing over there, you go do that. Follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films for updates for all future things, including things that are going on with our website and things that are going on with the Patreon page, and things that are going on live as we stream them, as well as our podcasts and everything else. So thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a good day. alive!
Hey everybody, welcome once again to Everyone is Warlocks, Conflux. I'm Jack, your GM and storyteller for this campaign here on Final Show Films, and joining me today is Aaron.
Hi, I'm Erin, and I am playing Meja, the Pact of the Tome Celestial Warlock.
And Cody.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm playing Cole, the Urchin Pact of the Chain.
And you are super quiet, my dude. And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Wotan, the Pact of the Compass Dwarven Pirate.
Nikki.
Hi, everybody. I'm playing Diamond Qatar, the Earth Genasi Pact of the Blade.
And John.
I'm playing Hedon, the Pact of the Tome Tiefling Noble Fiend Warlock.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Aurelia, the Pact of the Blade, Great Old One human archaeologist.
Jeremy, who generally plays Korashana, our Kalishtar Pact of the Chain, is unfortunately not with us today, but we will soldier on in his absence. But as we begin, our last moments in Conflux were spent amongst the bookshelves in the library of the Magisterium Mysterium Sorcere, as Hedon, Aurelia, and Korashana finished investigating historical records surrounding the Fey Antiquities, a collection of 7 magical objects created from the fallen remains of one Rhaegon Thonath, a warlock from the 46th Great Game. For reference, we are currently in the 89th Great Game. The existence thereof was discovered in a subterranean chamber in Shadow Shades, where Rhaegon had left a magical record during his final days. It was also here that the Warlocks confronted the Compact of Dreamheart Road, a group of 5 rival Warlocks with their own designs for the Great Game. After a tense confrontation, both Compacts parted ways for the moment, with the Hawkshead Warlocks headed north, following their own objectives and purposes. With Diamond and Stormways and the other 3 finishing up their research in 13 Clouds, our eyes are once again drawn to the Wave Crest, where Wotan's eyes are fixed on his compass needle, guiding him toward a link to his vengeful past and the mystery of a recent betrayal. So Wotan, the waves of the Reedy River, small though they usually are, begin to crest heavily against the prow of the Wave Crest as you watch your needle settled in on a largely northward course. There's not a lot of give to its direction, primarily indicated that you're at least headed in a fairly straight line towards where you need to go. Meja and Cole are both seated in the body of the Wave Crest, and they've mentioned wanting to get dropped off both in Cryptward, assuming that you don't reach your destination before you get there.
At the very least, it seems like I'm going to be heading in that direction. So he will keep going in that and see how far it goes before the compass turns.
Okay. As you draw closer to the lock, that is the boundary from where the river falls down into the first tier districts of Cryptward and Hallowdoors, the needle does swing just slightly a little bit to the left, indicating that you've started to pull a little bit eastward of your ultimate objective. But after waiting for a few minutes, being allowed in to the contained chamber that then begins to drain water and lower the vessel down to the next stage of the Reedy River North Branch, you push out once again, and there's a short wharf off to the west, which is probably going to be your best option for dropping people who need to do foot traffic in Cryptward.
I'll pull up to the wharf. All right, those of you who need into the crypts, this is your stop.
Thanks.
Meja will get off. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
You
See you
as
back
well.
at the Hawkshead.
If you got some method of contacting me, then you might be able to get me to come pick you up. But other than that, yes.
Okay.
Well, good fortune. And you start pushing the boat away from the dock and further up the river.
Okay. We'll start with Maja then. You're headed for a secluded graveyard, one that you've mostly heard of by rumor, although you may have stopped by once or twice before. As you walk into Cryptward itself, the region is quiet. It's a very silent sort of area. You don't get a ton of foot traffic. You don't get a lot of noise from buildings. There's a pale, sort of translucent aspect to most of the district. Despite there being fairly few clouds overhead, the light that comes from the suns above is kind of watery and faint. These broad roadways that you travel along will abruptly branch into a series of narrow, twisting alleys that plunge into these dim, narrow spaces between sepulchral structures. Occasional skeins of mist, even now, roughly at just a little bit past midday, still drift throughout the district. It's an area that has a fairly ghostly aspect to it. You take a few turns, pass down a few lanes, and these give way to a series of fairly well-tended footpaths that snake through a series of gardens, funneling any pedestrians towards a narrow gate in a tightly mortared wall. A trio of halberd-wielding dragonborn wearing heavy leathers stand blocking the path as you approach.
I do whatever is the normal thing to do in this situation.
As you approach, one of them holds up a clawed hand. Ma'am, not sure who you're here to pay your respects to, but unfortunately the cemetery's closed for cleaning. Go ahead and make a history check.
Okay. Wait, that's insight. History.
Closed for cleaning is generally polite street talk for undead.
I'll sort of give him a short nod. Thank you for letting me know. I hope that things will be open again soon. I was so hoping to before my time. Well,
As you say this, you see another pair of foot traffickers come up. One of them has a crossbow. The other one has just a large maul and kind of gives him a nod. They don't seem to be official. They seem like they walked in over just off the street, and one of the other Dragonborn gives him a nod and sort of opens the gate, and they just walk right in. He shuts it behind him.
She'll give a nod to the children with their weapons going to murder things, and a polite nod to the soldiers making sure that the proper people murder things, which are just whoever said they would, and head on her way.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm not that confrontational.
That's fair. As you walk, you see a small placard that sort of escaped your notice. Just says, cleaning staff wanted, 2 crowns per skull, apply at the gate. Seems
Yeah,
to be about
no.
right.
Yeah. She thinks about it for a moment. I wonder if they would be interested. No, I doubt it. Well, we do need coin. And, like, I'll probably head back towards the dock to meet up with the rest of the group. Because the last thing I want is to do this in a context where I have been noticed.
Okay. That's perfectly fair.
Like,
In that case, Cole,
Yes.
it doesn't take long to find the Temple of the Raven Queen. It's a pretty well-known location in Cryptward. There's a broad, shallow stair that extends across the full breadth of the temple, rising to meet a series of 7 blackened stone doors that are all sequentially engraved with the relief of a raven from wingtip to wingtip, which reaches almost 80 feet across from one door to the next, all forming a single image, with just a little bit of negative space in between each. No guards, unlocked. You walk up, push a door open. The interior is dimly lit with the large main area holding a series of concentric arcs of curved benches that encircle a recessed depression in the floor, where a pair of acolytes slowly rake patterns into the coarse dust that fills this basin. There's a dense silence filling the room, and the passages that lead away from this area are all heavily curtained with a single hooded attendant barring the way to each.
Any of this look familiar from my dream?
In your dream, there was a dais overlooking a
Is it like similar architecture, or like
similar architecture? Yeah, different location probably. You didn't have that big assembly square out front, unless it's just on another angle of this building. But the architecture does definitely have similar features that you recall from your dream.
Okay. And are the acolytes hooded, or just the people that are on either side?
Just the people that are barring the door. The acolytes are just clad in simple dark gray robes with a few white flashing on the belt at the neck. And they've got these just specially designed 4-tine heavy rakes, and they're carefully maneuvering whatever debris is held in this basin. You can go ahead and make a history check, see if you've heard of this before.
All right. I don't see myself having come here often, so we'll see. 16.
16. DC was 15, so well done. This is called the Dust Pit. It's filled with fine fragments of bone that are collected from the remains of the deceased across Conflux, and generally in those that adhere to the following of the Raven Queen is used as a means of focus and meditation. The acolytes rake patterns, and those patterns are said to sometimes appear as needed in order to communicate the fate of whoever is observing and attempting to interpret them. You don't know if there's like a special technique to it or what or how you do that, but that's what they say.
Okay. And just for so you know, my raven's not on my shoulder right now.
Okay.
But are there any windows into this place?
There are a number of narrow, kind of Gothic arched windows, probably no more than 2 or 3 feet across at their broadest point.
Okay. I'll walk down to the edge of the dust pit.
Okay.
And, see if I can get one of the acolytes' attention.
All right. You step up and kind of raise a hand a little bit to the closest one who's raking. There's a flicker of movement just briefly as he kind of glances up at you, but then his eyes are straight back to his work, and he gives just a very faint shake of his head and goes back to it. Give me a perception check.
13.
You're pretty sure he's probably supposed to just be focused on what he's doing and not talk to people, which is when you feel something rub up against your leg.
Down.
You glance down to see a familiar pair of feline eyes as a grayish tabby cat looks up at you, sits down and starts washing behind its ear.
What the hell are you doing here, Jinx? Is this the cat that I think it is?
This is exactly the cat that you think it is. This is your sister's lost cat.
I'll sit next to it and pick her up and move.
So you reach out a hand, and as soon as you touch her back, the cat shies away, doing that sort of sideways dance arched back thing that cats do. And it sits down very suddenly about 3 feet away from your fingertips and then starts to bite at its shoulder blades. Which is when the wings pop out. And you feel a faint touch of a gloved hand on your shoulder and a whisper in your ear. Lost things found, child. Take her with my blessing. Change this city. And you have your familiar.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, that'll move over, scritch Jinx's ear, and then I'll pick them up, and if they'll let me, and because it's a cat still.
Right. Jinx seems
That's a flirkin.
kind of like freaked out by the whole wings thing and doesn't really quite know what to do with that. And so you kind of you pick her up, and she sort
Laughing like an awkward chicken.
of a little bit, and then like kind of manages to get him settled and just sort of hunkers with this vaguely shell-shocked look on her face.
Your cat has become a Tresson.
Yeah. A lot of weird things have been happening to me too. As I pet and I go up to one of the hooded people at the door. Maybe they'll be more apt to talk. And I'll ask, excuse me, is there I can't remember a Nielsen or an Eriksgard here?
Those brothers are otherwise occupied today. Were they expecting your attendance?
Probably not.
Would you care to leave your name and your purpose?
Yeah. My name's Royland, and I was just I was trying to just get in touch and thank them for something. I don't remember who exactly it was. I know it may have been one of those two. I didn't get their name when I met them, but I just wanted to thank them for some words that they said at a funeral recently.
Understood. And if you come back in 2 days' time, they may have a moment to spare for you.
Okay. Thank you. And I want my raven to fly in through one of the windows and land on my shoulder, and then I'll just leave.
So your familiar, your raven spirit, I should say, your other one comes in and just lands on your shoulder. You can see there's a bit of reaction from the hooded individual.
I was hoping.
Right. I mean, he keeps it together. But somebody came in, a cat that they didn't know was here turned into a Tressum, and then a raven just came in and landed on this motherfucker's shoulder after he asked for 2 of the ranking clergymen. You feel like you've at least made an impression.
Yeah, first impressions are important.
Right, yeah. Things have definitely happened.
I want interest to be piqued. And then, yeah, I'll leave and see. I'll just go to a corner and see what all I can learn with my familiar.
Okay.
I do have Voice of the Chainmaster, so
Yep.
I'll eventually use that.
Right. Yeah, no, it's you start familiarizing yourself with how a familiar works. It's an experience.
Yeah, at one point I'm in an alley and I have the cat looking at the Tressum looking at me, and it will say, "This is weird," in my voice.
Right.
And, okay. I guess now I have a way to communicate with Wotan if I need to.
Hey, cat thing, go find the one-eyed dwarf.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
A one-eyed dwarf.
But yeah. Yeah, no, I'll start walking back. And I'll just have my raven like flying above, doing like a circle to see if Maja or Wotan are nearby.
All right.
Maybe I'll
Sounds
link up
good.
with them.
Find the One-Eyed Dwarf is my Sex Pistols cover band.
Of course it is.
I was thinking it'd be Black-Eyed Peas. Whatever.
All right. Meanwhile, Wotan. The north branch of the Reedy River begins to broaden and slow as the fens loom ahead of you. They're a maze of mud, rushes, grasses, and sedges that form this vast delta before plummeting through a broad gap in the rim wall into the void below. Give me a history check.
Okay. 20.
It's also widely known to be a haven for the Fenfolk, a subculture of scavengers, fishing clans, and other river people. They are very much insular, preferring to avoid contact, but definitely willing to viciously defend their territory if they have to. But this twisting labyrinth of channels narrows as you continue to follow the needle. They're now barely wider than the Wavecrest's beam. Your visibility is practically zero. An ambush could lie in any direction, and the muddy water could conceal countless hazards. Thalia has picked a hiding spot where absolutely all factors are to her advantage. Give me a water vehicles check using your wisdom.
That's one of my not bad ones. 11. As I roll shit, like usual.
You slow your progress, trying to navigate as cautiously as possible as you continue to follow this, and then suddenly out of nowhere, a snare of sunken branches entangles the wave crest and halts your progress just as you nose out into a small cove where a shack on stilts is covered at the far side in a heavy blanket of moss. Roll me a perception check.
Six.
Okay.
I have one eye.
That's true. And okay.
By the way, that's rolling publicly.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. because I wanted to make sure that everybody knew I was telling the truth on this. You don't see anybody. And then 2 longbow shafts just thump, thump, one after the other right into the nose of the wave crest. And then with a very brief pause, there's another as one lands directly behind you where you sit.
Easy. I'm not here for a fight.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
He says, as if they can hear him.
I mean, that seems accurate.
I would actually like to, if I can, use Wotan's Reed to make that, to flatten that out.
Okay. You absolutely can.
Persuasion check. Because I need less garbage rolls. 23. Good. I'm glad that I flattened that out.
Did you also include? Are you proficient in persuasion?
I am not. So that would also.
So
add
you don't get the double bonus. Okay.
And you can include twice your proficiency bonus, so that would be an extra 4. Add to that, so it'd be 27.
Great. 27. Right. There's a moment, and then you hear a rustle in the brush. And 3 individuals of some level of elvish nature step out, faces streaked with some level of mud. A pair of sabers on each of their backs. Short blades, definitely better for use in heavy terrain like this, bordering on machete-esque design.
Mm-hmm.
And with longbows, half drawn, all with an arrow on the string. Two of them just sort of step up, one towards the front of the boat, one towards the back. They draw back and just hold, aimed at you. As the seconds go by, you can see, the tension definitely, those arrow tips waver a bit, but they're not in any danger of letting loose without needing to.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the third just sort of steps up, looks at you, gives a piercing bird call. At which point you hear just a single bell coming from somewhere in that shack. At that signal, the arrows relax. One of them goes over to a stump that's sort of half poked out and pulls on something and then dives into the water. And you can feel that pressure on the prow of the wave crest vanish as this elf just swims in a wide arc, more or less opening the gate to this cove. The other 2 climb on board the boat. One of them gives you a jerk of the head towards the shack.
And pull the boat in towards the shore.
There's a little parapet walkway down to a rough but somewhat loose sandbank. One of them jumps out, takes a line, and moors the wave crest for you. The other one disembarks and just cuts around the back of the shack somewhere.
Wotan pulls the arrows out of the boat and offers them to the lead elf.
Gives you a half grin. Thanks. Takes them, quivers them.
If it'll make you feel safer, he pulls the axe out of his belt and offers it, just handle forward.
Grabs the handle, taps it in his palm, and then gives you a nudge with the blade up towards the stairs.
He walks up towards the stairs.
The door's not locked. In fact, it's been left slightly open. You push it ajar.
He faintly pushes it ajar, and as he's pushing it ajar with the back of his knuckle, just knocks 3 times.
And as you step in to the dim light, first thing you see is a familiar length of red hair and a pair of green eyes above a ragged black cloth mask, holding a crossbow pointed directly at you.
It's been some time.
Most would take a few barrels of flaming pitch as a fairly clear breakup notice, my love. She reaches up a hand to let the mask drop. Familiar face that you've seen many times before in many situations. The only new thing is a livid, fresh gash from the corner of her mouth, granting her an agonizingly painful half smile, barely even begun to heal. Maybe 2 days old at the most.
Most would also have died in that mess.
Well, I had some faith in you.
Did you now? And what was the purpose of that? Ruin a job that could set us for life.
There's more lives than ours, love.
Yes, there was the lives of our crew, and they're gone too now, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to kill you.
That's good, because I'd prefer not to try to kill you again either.
I want to know why.
Points to the injury on her face. Some of us have worse luck than others.
Taps the eye patch.
Honestly, I thought I put that fire where you'd get to the water fast enough that you'd avoid that sort of thing.
Well, that wasn't the fire.
Neither was this.
So what happened?
I got a gift from my employer for letting you vanish. He prefers his instructions be followed to the letter, not one for allowing people to improvise much.
Someone hired you to kill me.
I suppose employer, hire are the wrong terms to use. Generally, that only happens when someone's getting paid.
With your life, I'm assuming, in that case.
Not mine.
Who's being held hostage then?
I've looked at it all the ways I can, Wotan love. That was the last thing I could do. And unless he gets tired, I don't see any way out of this.
Well,
Best you
perhaps-
just take what I gave you and go live the rest of your life, cleared from my troubles.
The problem with that is that both of us are far better off when the other one's around, now aren't we? I've survived something that should have killed me. You survived whatever's been being held over your head. What say we survive this too?
You always did have a silver tongue on you. But it's going to take a lot more than that to take this man down.
I've got a lot more than just a silver tongue. Especially now.
Pulls out a silverware kit.
All right, I'm willing to listen to your plan then. Tell me, Wotan Feltprey, Plague of the Waters, how exactly are you going to defeat and kill the ward captains of Fell Heights?
Oh, now that's a challenge. But fortunately, I think it was going to have to happen anyway.
She gives you a little bit of a raised eyebrow.
He kind of taps the compass a little bit, and it begins to spin as water begins to pour off the edges of it and just kind of slowly drip to the ground. The game's afoot, my dear. And I didn't survive that explosion by mundane means.
And her demeanor kind of drops a little bit. You mean to tell me you're a fucking warlock?
Could you see anyone better for the job?
All right, I'll correct myself. I looked at it in every direction but one.
And you're in luck. Because the game for us is to overthrow the government and establish a new one.
All right, now you're having me on.
No. I would not lie to you. At least about significant things. I make a jest occasionally, but you know me.
And you can see just a palpable level of relief drift over this very familiar face. She's never emotionally vulnerable in public, and even then only rarely around you. And this is significant to her. I can't leave the fens, not at the present moment. It's the only thing. He's got people out there watching for me. And as soon as I come out, they'll take me back to him. And I'll get more jobs. And maybe he won't kill my nieces.
Do I know the names of both of these nieces?
This is the first time you've ever heard of her having relatives.
I didn't know you had nieces.
Sweetheart, I share a lot of things with you, but trust comes very slow in our line of work.
That's fair. But as it turns out,
you never quite struck me as the marrying, settling down, building a house, meeting the neighbors type of lad.
I'm settling down, building a house. Why not a house that floats and moves around?
Makes it easier to change the neighbors.
But at the very least, my job is eventually going to have to deal with the ward captains.
One in particular, since I know you're going to ask. His name's Reinhold Cledwin.
What kind of shit is this man?
He's looking to play both sides of the board. Influence, political clout from his appointment. Money and knowledge and the ability to twist the underworld to his own fist from the other side of the line.
You say he's got scouts near here?
Well, he's got connections in the Floodwatch, and they're always poking at the outskirts of the fens.
Perhaps while we're having this conversation, I'll do a little bit of scouting myself, he says as he begins to slowly mutter under his breath as he holds the compass up, and he's going to take a minute and cast Flock of Familiars.
Okay.
As 2 ravens and a squirrel appear.
All right. You are... It's going to take you probably a little while to get them to the edges of the fens. but you'll be able to have them active for probably at least a good half hour of scouting.
Mhm. So as they appear, the two ravens on his shoulders and the squirrel in front of him, he's Hugin, Munin, take to the air, see what you can see. Ratatosk, climb the buildings, see what's around.
The squirrel chatters at you. The ravens don't make a sound and just... And after a moment, there aren't any animals around. You goddamn Disney princess.
I am the All-Father, thank you very much.
No Disney princess.
Odin
exactly.
is
true.
totally a Disney princess.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely, Disney princess.
That's what it means that Marvel's owned by Disney, right?
But your familiars head out, beginning to make their way through this maze of marshlands.
They'll keep an eye out and do a little bit of scouting for me while we have this talk.
What else do you need to know, love?
You said he works of the Fell Heights. How did he get a hand on your family?
He's not exactly the bragging and sharing the entire plan during his monologue type. My guess is bits of information trickle their way up the chain, and once they put a few pieces together and saw him an opportunity.
Well, fortunately, I and 6 companions of the Hawkshead Compact will be able to likely find what we need to deal with him.
He's got 3 legions, love. It's gonna take,
And not a one of them can do the kind of magic we can.
No, I'm sure not. But they're better armed and armored than almost anybody in the city. And
When's the last time I fought a fair fight?
cheating might cut his numbers in half, and that's still plenty to grind anybody into the dust. But I'll see what you're capable of. I'll see what you can do, and between all of us, maybe we can come up with a marginally effective plan that doesn't end up with 2 little girls with their heads on spikes out in front of Hightower.
Yeah, your mic switched, by the way, Jack.
Boo hiss. Is that any better?
No.
Still sounds like it's still sounds like it's the wrong mic.
Now we can't hear you.
Now you're muted.
Okay, how about now?
That's better.
Yep.
Well, you were always the one who is best at planning. Now you got some extra variables to toss in.
You always bring me the best problems.
I like to think this time I'm bringing you a possible solution.
Oh, every solution's a problem if you look at it right.
And every problem's a solution if you got the right tools.
Fair enough. Now enough with the bloody wordplay. Where can I meet you? Where can I find you if I need to send a message?
Find me at the Hawkshead house, and you rattle off the where in nice font that the house is at.
Should have known you'd end up washed downstream on the South Branch.
That's a fun choice of words you chose there.
Well, we've got enough supplies here for a few more days at best. And then I'll have to make my way outside if we're going to stay with our noses above water, as it were.
Do you need coin?
Not a ton of merchants setting up shop inside the fence.
That's fair.
Don't worry about me that way.
Let me know if someone needs to disappear.
I can do that. It's good to see your face again.
It's good to see yours.
And she'll pass the rest of the time telling you pretty much anything else you need to know. She does not have a ton of information other than Cledwyn is powerful, ruthless, has a large amount of manpower at his command, and is very well, all of whom are very well armed, armored, and trained. The one bit of sort of knowledge that she can give you about him is that she's fairly certain he spent some time at the Academy Marshal, just by the way he carries himself and the way she's seen him kill people.
Does she know what he is, like race-wise?
Human.
Human, okay. Wotan is just more than happy just to kill the time until the familiars return.
Okay.
Having gotten, just because first time he's seen his significant other in since he was blown up. So
right. Basically, yeah, since his life entirely altered. The familiars come back every once in a while you're having this conversation. You're getting those visual senses. And it's a little weird to go from one eye vision to two eye vision back to one eye vision. But you adapt to it fairly quickly. Most of the things and people they see are very obviously other fen folk, until they get to the exterior of the fens, which probably takes them about 20 minutes or so. At least the ravens. Ratatosk is going to be a while, because he doesn't do water nearly as well. The ravens pick out a number of vessels near the exterior. There is some traffic that happens on either side of the fens along the Hallodoors and Cryptward shores, but most of the boat traffic stops pretty close to where the fens begin. There's a couple of Floodwatch vessels out there, mostly small cutters, quicker, faster boats, and the like. None of them seem to be doing anything particularly suspicious. Most of them seem to be either taking channel soundings, checking for various routes and navigational features that may have changed, that sort of thing. All the basic sort of things that an institution would have to do in order to make sure that a delta area navigable water remains navigably safe. But their presence is definitely there.
Interesting. So by the time the familiars are done with their job, he kind of looks back at Thalia. And of course, if you ever need a distraction to help get out and find supplies, I can do a little bit of that myself as well, especially if it's your face that people are going to be looking for.
She kind of pulls the mask back up. Been thinking about cutting my hair off.
He uses Mask of Many Faces to look like her. Like I said, I can do a distraction.
We might need to use that for some other things.
That's one of Heden's specialities.
It's just an illusion.
Alright.
For now, I don't know what kind of tricks I'll learn as I get stronger, but
Right then. Well, if anything happens, or if it gets to the point where we need your backup and assistance, I'll send you a note.
Glad to hear from you. Anytime. All right. I should probably get back and see to the others.
Oh, aye. There's warlocks running around. They need as much of a babysitter as they can get, probably.
Fortunately, we've got the Loxodon for that part.
Oh, good. Because if you're in charge of the children, they're all going to grow up to be cutthroats.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, not what every mother wants.
I'll see you later, my love.
Fair winds to you.
Kind waters to you.
Which is when we shift back to the library.
Woo.
So, yeah.
Do one more thing.
Yeah, while everyone's reading things, I need to head out to wherever the school messaging service is.
I mean, there's a number. The school doesn't necessarily have a messaging service.
I'm assuming they have access to mail that goes out.
There are couriers nearby.
Yes, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
I sort of pulled some papers and pens from my bag and quickly jotted down a message to 3 messages, one to 2 of my siblings, whichever one is the one next to me and whichever one is the youngest,
Okay.
and one to my father.
Okay.
All of them say the same thing. Retirement might be in our future as the 51st game comes again. Signed, BZ.
Okay. That will run you 8 copper each.
Done.
And they will get those scribed and delivered. At this point, it's starting to grow later in the day. The library's closing down. Wotan eventually emerges from the fens, and if you guys have just retreated to the wharf, he will spot you and I assume pick you back up as he
I have
exits.
one thing I wanted to do before I left the library,
Okay.
if I haven't left yet.
You haven't quite left yet.
Okay. I did want to just take a moment and cast Detect Thoughts and just sort of scan the area to check to make sure that our questions and what we've been asking has not aroused any sort of to see if it's been noted or anything. I'm just curious.
Okay.
So I'm shifting around on basically kind of everyone in the vicinity unless anything catches my interest.
So the main things you start to hear are the sort of thoughts that you'd expect from either staffers or researchers or students in a library. Nobody, as you make your way through each mind that you can touch within your range, you know, and walking up and down quietly the various rows, because you do need to have eye contact for that sort of thing. Doesn't seem like it's aroused any suspicion. You guys have been talking in more or less library appropriate voices because Balana's a professional. And so there definitely hasn't been much that it seems in the way of being overheard. And of course, it's highly unlikely that anybody could overhear you magically unless they were a warlock, which, you know, while there's a number of you in the city, the odds of just randomly stumbling into one in a public place are still fairly small.
Yeah.
most of it seems to be either historical or conceptual / theoretical in nature.
Okay.
And the only things that sort of catch your attention are, the occasional mental grousing of one of the librarians at something that was not put back in the right place, or something that was obviously touched by someone who had not wiped their hands after lunch, or that sort of thing.
Yep. Ew, it's sticky. Why? Yep. And Balana herself, because we were kind of conversing more with her.
Mhm.
Does that seem she's kind of along the same lines?
Balana thinks you guys are just have stumbled across some interesting information and are academically intrigued by the concept of the existence of said phenomena.
Okay.
She's not really drawing too many conclusions. You occasionally get the sort of, I try not to think too hard about what Hedon does most of the time.
Silently agree. Yes. All right.
So yeah, she's
Y'all's a bunch of judgy motherfuckers, is all I'm saying.
It's not
some people
judgy if
just
it's
aren't comfortable.
things that you have explicitly informed us of.
Yes.
Making an informed decision based on the reports of the person who says the thing.
All right. But all of you manage to finish your objectives and turn your feet / boats / whatever homeward as the day begins to draw to a close. Diamond, you were in Stormways. Did you have anything else there or elsewhere that you were going to do before you got back to the Hawkshead?
I thought about something, but I have something else in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as the day finishes, Major, are you going back to the clinic or what?
Guess I'm probably going back to Hawkshead for now.
Okay.
May's just getting really sick of being teleported around the city because people won't let her do her fucking job.
It's almost like your patron doesn't follow the social order.
Yeah, getting that sense. Yeah.
All right. So the evening of the 19th draws to a close as everybody eventually meets back up at the Hawkshead house.
All right.
What's happening now?
Hedon, I've got some questions for you.
Sure, but we've also got some information for you guys.
Interesting.
Let's have food and talk.
Sure.
We still have pastries left over. Yeah.
I wouldn't eat those this late.
They are a little hard.
What? Why not?
Some of us
So
care.
Hayden-
Some of us care more about the health of our colon than others.
I feel like Damon's mom forced her to have dinner first before she left.
Oh yeah, no. Diamond was at least forced one meal,
Oh my gotta go. No, you'll eat first.
and probably a basket of something to take back.
Okay, cool. I've got hot food.
Hot food is good.
Diamond puts a basket on the table and just pulls out a brisket.
Done.
Oh wow. All right. There we
So-
go. We have.
Hedon, what can you tell me about a ward captain? I'm assuming you seem to know. You seem to have good connections in the government officials, from what I can tell. Do you happen to know a ward captain by the name of Reinald Cledwin?
Do I happen to know a ward captain by the name of Ronald Clement?
Make a history check.
Do I have any advantage or no?
Your DC is lower because of who you are.
Does an 11 work?
An 11 tells you you know a couple things. One of the probably 5 captains is stationed in Fell Heights, considered very effective, tends to do things by the book for the most part. Very not impulsive, but determined, and tends to be a man of action. Likes to be in the thick of things. Yeah.
An utterly boring individual that likes to wave his sword-shaped dick around.
Or was it dick-shaped sword? We can't remember.
He needs to be dealt with. He's a conniving bastard who thinks he can rule the underworld, apparently.
I mean, isn't it inherently dealing with the ward captains part of our goal regardless?
Oh, absolutely. But him in particular.
This guy.
I mean, he's in Fell Heights, which means that he's one of the more difficult ward captains to get close to, considering that... Fell Heights is like the seat of the government, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Considering that's the seat of the Council of Lords, I mean, I can get into Fell Heights easily enough. My family estate is there, but as to getting close to or towards him, he's not one of the people that, shall we say, enjoys life.
How about disgrace and revealing corruption? Because I happen to know that he has a very heavy-handed approach when it comes to the criminal underworld.
You'll have to have way, way more disgraceful stuff than that. That's not news. You saw how they you saw how they invaded that house we were at. Like, you're gonna have to have caught him with his pants down, ankle deep in a fish.
That could be arranged.
For disgrace to be a thing.
That could probably be arranged if all things needed to be done.
And I don't mean like and I don't mean like a water ganassi. I mean like an actual like a sea bass or something.
I gathered your meaning.
There's no non-painful way to do that.
Summon a magic fish.
But he needs to be dealt with, and from what you told me, it sounds like he's trying very hard to hide the fact that he likes to get paid from the official and unofficial methods.
Jack, how easy would it be to like, in my mind, from what I've experienced thus far, it seems like that wouldn't be enough to rid him of his position.
You would have to have some pretty compelling evidence, and by pretty compelling, I mean legitimately undeniable evidence that he is actively encouraging and overlooking economically damaging criminal behavior and personally profiting thereby before anybody's even going to think about it.
Yeah, you would need to have documented evidence of him writing in his diary, knowing that it's him and not anyone else faking his handwriting, saying, "My God, I love screwing over the city so hard by allowing criminal elements to operate under my watch and give me a cut." And it would have to be undeniably him writing this in his diary.
Well, I suppose that gives us something to look out for.
And even then, some people might just sort of kudos, you know? Depending.
Well, that certainly gives me something to look for then.
There's a reason why I was never interested in taking my father's seat.
You're more experienced in this. Would there be a different...
I
approach?
can't hear you, Aaron. Sorry.
Hidden, you're experienced with these things. Would there be a different approach that might unseat someone of his standing?
Can I think of anything off the top of my head, Jack? That would
Make an intelligence check.
other than getting me into bed with him?
No, that damages your other clients.
16. Yeah, no.
If you're interested in just getting him out of power, finding political rivals and empowering them as much as possible so that they can use their already existing influence in the effort. That's potentially effective if you can make it happen, but not super quick. They're sneaking in and murdering him. That's potentially very effective and efficient, although slightly much more hazardous. There's also making things in his jurisdiction so unmanageable that they have to sack somebody, and you've got a 1 in 5 chance that it's him.
So, couple of things. Understanding that it is our long-term goal, apparently, to destabilize and replace the government as a whole. Prior to that, we could empower one of the other guard captains or someone vying for his particular position to sort of give them a political boost, as it were, to help them vie for and potentially overthrow, claiming that position for themselves politically, which would be an ask and be a long-term solution, but it wouldn't be very quick. Liberally applying a pointed object into and out of his kidneys over and over again while he's sleeping would be a quicker one.
Wow.
But more hazardous. And possibly just as hazardous, but maybe slightly more fun and interesting, raising hell in Fell Heights until somebody gets until somebody gets sacked for it. And then if it's not him, just keep doing it.
They fired the wrong guy. Work harder.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me as if, just in terms of example, our best case scenario is that there might be some sort of up and coming guard captain who might be looking to take over a position in the wards, who, for our own personal benefit, thinks that the government has been doing a shite job and might need some major changes.
And if you could perhaps arrange for this person in particular to be the person that gets credit for busting up criminal operations in Fell Heights that the existing captain should have been aware of, but his negligence meant that it went untreated until such a time as someone else more worthy of the position was able to discover and right those very criminal wrongs. That's a really good way to catapult someone else's career.
I feel like there's some kind of candidate that we can probably find.
Oh, easily enough. I've slept with 3 of them, probably.
Oh, I was thinking of you.
Me too.
Wotan starts to laugh just a little bit.
Excuse me while I wipe this taste out of my mouth.
That was my thought as well. I didn't think that would appeal to you.
No,
I mean,
but think about it this way. We need to empower someone whose incentive will ultimately not be to hold on to that power. And without prying, you, by being here, have a more significant vested interest in Flutter of Cantrip than in the power that you probably could have inherited anyways.
You are right, and it upsets me how right you are.
Good job, Major.
To it, and I apologize deeply.
Yes, I could enter into the political arena.
I mean, the other option is the person that we try and get to rise for us doesn't necessarily have to be someone who doesn't want to hold on to his power. He could want more power in the new government that we plan to establish.
Yeah, but it's harder to manipulate people into acting correctly, and if he's not charismatic enough, it won't come across right, and there are way more ways it can go wrong if we pick up a random person than the person who can lie magically and be believed no matter what he says.
Exactly. I don't see why you're having a
I'm trying to help you out of this, and
Yeah.
you just keep digging yourself in.
I know, but the problem is I'm thinking like I was trained to think.
What about your friend Aurelia?
Which one?
The loud one.
Oh God, no.
But he'd already did you say he already wanted to help us?
Oh God.
Yes, he is the exemplary, subtle, and deceptive sort. I have gathered.
Yes, that.
Was that sarcasm, Major? I think that's the first I've heard that from you.
That does.
I find that it is sometimes a more effective way to convey to someone how stupid their own plans are.
Oh.
So yes, you should absolutely eat nothing but butter for a week. You will be fine.
So,
Oh my
brilliant, dear.
God.
me entering politics aside, we did have other information that's important that needs to be shared.
Yes.
Quickly change the subject.
More about those objects.
So, the objects that we were told about are called the Fey Antiquities.
Yes, they date from the mid to late 40th cycle,
Mhm.
and
Anyone happen to know how far back that would be?
it tracks with what the individual in the crystal said.
a long
Hey,
time ago.
So, does anyone have any number of years?
No.
Okay. Anywhere from 100 to 10,000. Good to know.
Did we get years when we were looking at things? Because
We learned that cycles are hard to calculate because they are literally the time between each game, and
Yeah,
so that can be
Which varies
I knew-
widely.
yeah.
I knew that part. I didn't know if we had gotten any closer in the library because we weren't asking specifically about dates. So
Yeah, you weren't asking specifically about dates.
That's why I went and said anywhere between 100 years and 10,000 years.
So
Yeah.
More than 100. You know, it's definitely more than 100.
That's why I said between 100. It's been like 10 cycles since then.
101.
Jack, what
It's
game
been about
is
30
the
cycles since then.
30
first
cycles,
one
yeah.
I was alive for, being like
First
nearly
one,
elf age.
I was going to say, yeah, you're like 400 and some years old, so you would have been alive for... I think
I love
in
that
my
you
notes
have.
I had...
I love that you have a history of cycles.
Yeah.
It's really useful for stuff like this.
Mhm. We'd be asking these weird questions.
It is. I think the one that you were... The first one that you recall would have been the 76th.
All right.
Does
Major will-
Major happen to recall the objective of that particular game?
It's
Make
not
a history
really-
check.
Sure.
I'm just
If Major
curious.
wants to know.
I'm just curious, me personally.
I'm gonna make the check because I feel like it may end up being asked now, but do history.
Your DC is 20.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
whoops.
But Major will. Well, if it helps, the 76th or 77, whichever one Jack just said,
76th.
was about 400 years back. And while that does not give you a average time between cycles, it tells you that it's significantly more than that.
Over 400 years ago.
We're looking for the Mist's Embrace, which is the cloak that I saw. The Weird Thorn, which is a sword that is apparently poisonous. So, Wotan, that might be right up your alley of contacts. Agony's Limb, which is a staff that I'm kind of interested in seeing. The Everbloom Lily, which is a wand in the shape of a flower and some sort of magic containment vessel.
Storage.
The Visage Sepulchral, which is the mask. Also a thing I'm interested in seeing. The Briarweave Raiment, which is a robe. And the Lux Stone, which is a necklace. Presumably a stone in the necklace that is lucky.
And they're all powerful and dangerous, and also probably not in the same place anymore.
We do know that Rhaegon Tanith, the guy who with Talk Twist Through the Crystal was originally from either Twilight's Web or Shadow Shades, which might be good places to start looking, but...
Yes.
I mean, that makes sense considering that's where we found the crystal.
Twilight's Web has a entrance into the Undergrass.
So does Shadow Shades.
As does Shadow Shades. Shadow Shades, however, also has
Shadow Shades
connection.
has a couple minor ones, but not a significant one.
Shadow Shades was where I go to see my contact, though, isn't it?
Yes, but he does not live in the Undergrass.
Yeah. It
But
is
he knows what goes on in the Undergrass.
It
A
is
bit.
near, though, one of the an entrance in Candlespark, which
Yes.
is important. And it's one I've been to before, probably.
You've been to the one in Candlespark, yes.
Yep. It's also where the Fountain of the Cup is. So there's a connection to another past great game.
Right.
Does anyone know anything more about the 81st game?
Do I know anything about the 81st game?
Would I?
Having gone to the Magisterium,
Yeah.
or the
Same.
whatever
I'm
that.
wondering if any of
You
those.
guys, you can give me history checks there.
Okay.
What would have been the earliest game that I can remember as being only 172?
172 would probably put you roughly around I'll put you roughly around 83.
83. So I would have missed the 81st game by a few years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how my modifier is only one lower than Aurelia's. But I rolled a 10.
I also rolled a 10. My modifier is one lower than yours.
I rolled a natural 20.
Yes.
What do
Yep.
I know?
All right.
Tell me your secrets.
So the 81st game ended when the winning compact found an ordinary pewter cup in a dusty wardrobe somewhere in Shadow Shades. Aurelia, you know that the cup was not magical or unique in any way. There was no indicator that it was particularly special. The only thing on it was the maker's mark from a tinsmith who worked in Dawnbreeze and operated a shop there. After the game concluded, it was eventually discovered by a printer's apprentice, just sitting on the edge of a fountain there in Shadow Shades, who founded a religion around it, like you do.
Yep.
The winning compact, nobody remembers who they were, what their names were, and they all vanished afterwards. Nobody really knows why or how or in relation to what. And now it's a cult.
Yep. Which, I mean, could be nothing because the Pewtermen are nonsense. So.
I mean, not any more nonsense than anything else in this world.
I started doing magic 3 days ago.
My point is proven.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think there is a point.
Oh, Aurelia is a nihilist.
Yes.
It's working.
Yep.
The point is that we've got a job to do and we need to figure out how we're going to do it.
So, I think the Fey Antiquities will help us overthrowing governments is.
Yes, if nothing else, the Antiquities will serve as personal equipment that'll be effective and symbols to rally a revolution behind.
Yeah.
On a more mundane note, while we're talking about the library, is it possible those libraries might contain the text of spells? Major holds up an old book.
I tried. I say holding up my book.
No. It was all theory and
I feel like that's going to be a real treasure hunt, all things considered.
I'll let you copy anything you want out of mine, though.
You actually have a ritual spell, John?
Yes, I have 2. I have Tensor's floating disk and Identify.
I can offer the same.
We just
though
need
I don't
we
know
just
if
need
I-
100 gold each for the two ritual
yeah,
spells.
That's gonna be expensive. But,
2
mean,
warlocks sharing
Go,
spells.
go
have
kill 100
100.
undead in that graveyard. There you go.
well, yeah, that hasn't come up
Time to
yet, and I'm
grind.
waiting my turn. I remember the plot point.
Of gold. I need to go and talk to my aforementioned very loud friend to see if I can get some so we can continue with getting my weapon built.
Heaton had a very amused look on his face until you said weapon built. And then he goes, "Oh, that's what you mean by get some. Never mind."
No, yes.
Need a more group-friendly way of retrieving currency. No offense to the 3 that actually have the other 3 with professions, so the thief, the pirate, and the sex worker.
The thief, the pirate, and the sex worker is my Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy fan fiction.
It is. I did encounter up in what was that name? Cryptward. Graveyards looking for those who might exterminate those risen after their time.
Jack,
Yeah.
how easily would I be able to catapult Slayer of the Undead into a political position?
I mean, it's not nothing.
Why are you bringing up things that I can use to help work our stupid replacing the guard captain plan?
Because it's not a stupid plan.
I mean, it might not set you that far apart, but it's definitely something to put on your resume.
It helps counteract the sex worker aspect of my background.
Potentially.
Won't seem like such a noodle if you
Yes,
tried something.
choose
to-
But
that.
you are doing still doing a lot of
When we
voting.
return to that point, I have more to say on it, but
Well,
that is one way of getting wealth that we can all collectively participate in. That's not just an individual specialty.
not intending to dig you any deeper, Hedon, because you seem to be doing a great job of doing that to yourself. Fell Heights is specifically the ward where the government sits, so replacing a guard captain in there is probably even more valuable.
I know.
Agreed.
Additionally, if we are thinking about how overthrowing governments ends up happening,
I've got a friend I can go talk to.
time, and not through such overhaul. GM, correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think he's
And like
correct.
you correct me, so I'm pausing.
What was the previous statement that I might need to
I
correct you on?
haven't lived through a previous revolution.
Oh yeah, no, you have not.
Okay, I
Nope.
thought so, but I was pausing
Yep.
for you to go. No, that's
No,
not the plot.
you have not lived through a previous revolution. This current government has been in place for well over 2 millennia.
I remembered right. But what I can tell you is that change and radicalism are measured and only so useful as are the tools of violence. We will inevitably need both interim and structures that maintain after a fall and a shift.
And nothing in our orders indicated that it had to be a bloody reconstructure.
That is also the case, and usually more people are happy and alive if it's not.
Diamond, you immediately hear in your ear, boring. That's all.
But we could consider, if we are looking to position individuals such as Hedon or such as others in positions of power, what organizations might end up rallying behind them and ultimately being useful to maintain a level of stability in whatever transition we end up in.
I've got a friend who's probably got a lot of insight on what might be necessary for a radical change of government.
I mean,
I would not trust that one, but I understand the benefit.
I also have...
I mean, it seems to be his degree of education.
I also have a friend who could offer some insight into people that I know I could probably get behind me, and in front of me, and underneath me, and on top of me, in a variety of different positions.
Yeah, did our mandates, because I, as a player, was not here for this section, specifically say install democracy or just install a different regime?
A different regime.
Okay, so
all you have to do is overthrow the government and establish a new one.
I'm just saying that everyone would be a lot happier if the repressed sex workers of Conflux were in charge of the government.
Are the sex workers really the ones who are repressed?
In certain sections, yes.
Oppressed, maybe.
Oppressed, yes. Oppressed. So.
I think oppressed is the word you're looking for, and I would argue it's relevant to this.
The oppressed. Sex workers of Conflux.
So yes, Hedon sex worker government is actually a possibility, so I'm not going to say anything about that. Sorry, Aaron is trying to character barrier, but didn't know things.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Where did I tell the...
Forth the guilds as holding a level of trust within the city that is not entirely dependent on the lords.
Well, let's go down the list of what each of us individually might have a sort of sphere of influence that we might be able to affect. I've got a certain amount of ability to impact and sway the criminal underworld, which is just as relevant as any official capacity when it comes to government. Don't lie to me. Our Loxodon, our lovely healer, has a certain amount of ability to influence the guilds.
Especially if Diamond could assist me with that.
Indeed.
Slowly, measuredly, not overtly.
We got two guilders. Someone who works with the more mundane downtrodden, shall I say? I say, looking at Cole. Those whose criminal activity only goes as far as stealing food, I feel.
No, I don't even really have very much pull with them.
But you could, is what I'm saying.
I know one person.
You exist within that field, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Someone who works among the academics and scholars, I say, pointing at Aurelia.
I mean, I do that too.
And someone who works among high society.
I can always talk to Nordal.
And an in among the guard, strictly speaking.
Yeah. I can always talk to Nordal and see if she has it. Actually, Nordal might have some information on your guard captain, too. Now I think about it. She's my mentor and Conflux's most successful escort.
Interesting. How many of us have heard of Conflux's most successful escort?
Yeah.
Make a history check.
The kind of thing that would come up.
Sure. Let's do it.
7.
22.
Former customer of Nordal right there.
Natural 20.
Also,
It's the first line in my allies and organizations part of my bio, Jack. Although I've already told you about Nordle, so
You have told me about Nordle. Okay. Let me go through the people who have heard. Aurelia, you've heard of a individual, yes, who, I mean, you didn't think much of it at the time.
I remember
but
I remember the rhyme now. Fuck.
Yeah.
but there was a turtle named Nordle. Yep. And she was apparently in significant demand. Yeah, that was a thing. Wotan remembers the rhyme.
oh, Nordle the turtle. Jesus fuck.
Who's Jesus?
Major, you had a very well-spoken female turtle patron your clinic at one point over a course of probably 6 months for just a series of medical consultations regarding turtle reproduction, which has its own kind of unique thing to it, in which they generally only reproduce literally 5 years before they die. And yeah, nope, you remember Madame Nordle.
It would be lovely to catch up with Madame Nordle again, and if you are so inclined.
It's been a while since I've talked to her, but she was my mentor. So
Nordle the turtle. That is quite the mentor you've had.
oh yeah, only learn from the best. I say, waving my tail over my shoulder.
Can't fault you. So
Where
we've got.
any other character of mine would go cough, silver spoon, cough. Damn it, I'm not used to playing a polite old lady.
So we've got a variety of avenues to follow through, is what I'm saying.
I love how I finally found the thing that put Wotan on his back foot.
But no, I think you are right that might be a avenue to take this.
And I think each of us working together to help each of us pursue our advancement within the fields that we can gain influence, to gather followers, to gather allies, and create this revolution, peaceful or violent, however, whichever is most viable, is probably going to be our best bet.
Oh, I imagine that she might have information about some old. I wonder what the oldest game that she ever lived through was.
Do I know roughly how long turtles live?
Me a either nature or medicine check.
Oh, well, fuck you, guys. When it would really make sense that I just know something. Sure.
I mean, with an 8, that's enough. That's still enough. But yeah, no, you're familiar with the lifespan of the average turtle.
Does the player have to look that up?
They live thousands of years.
Okay. They're elfy. Got it.
Jesus.
They're like real life turtles. They live forever.
Tortoise.
They're like
Or
elves
tortoises, yeah.
because we're in D&D, but okay.
No, actually, they don't. They live
Do
about
they?
50 years.
Do they? I thought they lived longer than that. Way longer.
No. Mm-mm.
Never mind then.
They might in magic. They might not in D&D magic.
Same.
Turtles are a magic gathering race, right?
There are a variety of turtle people in Magic, but not turtles specifically.
Never
Turtles-
mind. Aaron knows nothing about this stuff.
Yeah.
Turtles by themselves are D&D. There are turtle people in Magic, but not turtles.
No, they've got about the same lifespan as your average
That
half-orc.
that
most
must
of the
have
time.
changed as a 5th edition then, because they lived longer in 3.5.
I think everyone lived longer than 3.5 aside from like 1 or 2.
Yeah, aside
maybe.
from humans, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so we have options. What do we want to do? Actually, I guess shifting to from. I think I'm definitely up for going and killing some skeletons and zombies because I have a lot of sudden onset tension that I need to relieve.
I could help clean out some skeletons. Never fought a skeleton, but yeah.
You and me, Diamond. High five.
I get the feeling that my patron is kind of in on this too.
Most hesitant high five.
Would appreciate it.
It was not a task I was inclined to attempt alone, but as a group, it seems like a reasonable activity.
Yay, activities.
What do you
Not
think?
to
Bonding.
mention, not to mention, in Cryptward, when the dead walk, that's usually a good place and time for things that are less than legal going unnoticed because people are too busy worrying about the zombies.
So it's a good way to make cash legally and illegally, and if the dead are walking, magic's happening, there might be some magic items there.
Let's also just be very aware that we do eventually have to pay our landlord.
Yes.
That too.
Right.
Record keeping.
An amount.
A minimum of 60 gold.
Yes.
And specifically a percentage of what we bring in to a minimum of 60 gold.
Yeah.
No, 60.
Which is why I don't fucking live here. Sorry, Major doesn't say that.
All right. So with some plans underway, people will eventually be drawing towards bed, I assume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Diamond walks up to Cole and says, "Hey, Cole, can I talk to you in private about something?"
Put down Jinx. Oh.
Yeah, Cole walked in with a cat with wings. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but
Yeah.
And he was feeding it. He was feeding it part of that brisket too.
That's good. Cute cat. Not the strangest thing I've seen today.
It is for me. I watched it grow the wings.
We also watched Korshana turn that imp into a thing, so
it's called a quasit.
quasi, yeah.
Oh, was that today?
Yeah, that was still today.
Yes, that's still
It's been a long day.
today. Long day. Yeah, can I just like on the roof? Can we go to the roof? That seems like the quietest place.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Diamond and Cole go on the roof.
Diamond
right.
and Cole sitting in a tree.
So Cole, you're really good at sneaking and getting into places, right?
Not bad at it. I'm not Korshana. She's
So
loud.
I'm also pretty loud.
Yeah.
Which is why I would like your help going back to the place where the crystal was and seeing if we can get it.
Okay.
Because, like, there's other warlocks, and, well, maybe the Dream Road Compact is cool people and they won't go back. Maybe other warlocks might know about it and might be making their way down there right now. I don't trust it sitting there by itself.
me either.
As
but
we Streisand the crystal.
But if just me and you go down there, we would need if another group like what happened before came down while we were down there. They might not be as nice or up for terms as the first group was, but if it's all clear and nobody's around,
Yeah, no, like
we can get it off quickly. Maybe.
yeah. No. Doing this at night and being very cautious about it, but if nobody's down there, and
Assuming
we know
it's
what's
still
in there. It's assuming it's still there, right? Yeah.
I can find out.
Yeah, you can. Shit, magic. That's right. Yeah.
I can send Jinx. I can do the same thing with my Raven. That I can.
How long would that take?
Which Jinx is currently, Cole, pawing at your bag and emitting a sort of, you know how cats will sort of do that throat growl when they're not happy?
Yeah. I'll open my bag and tip it on its side and let Jinx dig around and see what they're after.
Jinx just swats those imp tails off to one side like they're still alive and just bristles at them.
I forgot I had those. I was going to try to sell those later.
Yeah, get some more coin. Awesome. So yeah, how long would it take Jinx to find out? Could we go there right now and have Jinx do some scouting?
It's in Shadow or
It's in Shadow Shades. If you guys took a coach, it would probably cost you about 2 silver to get there.
okay. How long would it take with my City Secrets thing to get there?
If you were going on foot.
Yeah.
If you're going on foot with your City Secrets thing, you could probably make it in about 4 hours.
Okay,
If you take a coach, it's probably going to be about hour and a half, 2.
Okay, yeah. So we either lose out on a night's sleep or half a night's sleep.
I've got some silver from working earlier. I can pitch that.
Okay. But yeah, I could. Yeah, we can do that. Do you have if it's there, do you have a crowbar or something that we can use to
I have
snap it off?
I have some of my dad's tools that I may or may not have taken without his permission.
It's called borrowing. I do it all the time. I just forget to give it back.
Yeah, I don't normally borrow that often, so but yeah, I've got
it more. That makes sense.
I really didn't like leaving that crystal there, so if we could do that, I would. Yeah, let's go. I've got and Dummy puts on her backpack and she's just like, okay, let's go. Go get a coach.
Okay. I'll leave the imp tails where they are, so in this they'll dry out in the sun in the morning.
Yeah.
Then,
the roof is like Cole's this is my room.
This is my workshop.
This is my workshop.
And
No, a workshop that you have to be careful on or you might fall off and break your ankles.
exactly.
Yes. Any workshop is like that.
Those imp tails are going to get eaten by a bird who is then going to die of poisoning.
There's gonna be a bunch of dead birds all around the house tomorrow.
And then next it'll attract something bigger, and this is how you
That's-
escalate and end up with it.
That's not an omen at all.
How did you guys end up with a basilisk problem?
Well, you see, the
Most
tails led to the dead birds, and the dead birds led to the dead
most
dogs.
perplexed
For some
exterminator in
reason,
Conflux.
For some reason, birds just started dying around here.
Ooh.
The Hawkshead house is cursed.
Whoopsies.
Hey, landlord, can we negotiate a new deal? Because apparently our house is cursed and is drawing basilisks.
Is it haunted? Because we can make a killing off of letting people go into a
Ghost
haunted
tours.
house. Ghost tours. That's how we make the money.
Ghost tours,
See,
just a bunch of
I feel like ghost tours are less popular in a setting where ghosts are definitely present and can hurt you.
and it's just the ghosts of the bandits we killed and all the dead birds.
That exciting.
All right, so you guys are hiring a coach?
Yes.
All right, so then mark 4 silver off
Yes. I have
as you guys head down to the Mistwind Transit Company and grab yourself a coach.
Just a bunch of really annoyed birds squawking at people. Leave us alone, we're ghosts.
And you head off into the darkening evening. Like I said, takes you about an hour and a half to get down there. A little bit of directions before they drop you off a little distance away, and you steal out into the darkened Conflux streets, cutting a swath through the mist and seeing very few other pedestrians abroad, especially at this hour of the night. Occasionally, you'll duck into a shadowed alley or scramble behind a wall as a local ward or patrol marches by, their lanterns and blades at the ready.
Diamond definitely keeps very close to Cole and is just like, it's really hard for me to see the shadows, but I don't want to use a light source, so just let me know if I get too close.
Okay. When we're
Also,
about
don't lose me.
No, I can see in the dark. We're fine. When we're about 10 minutes out, I'll have Jinx fly to the door to see if it's been relocked or if anything's changed about it.
Okay.
Watch it for about 10-15 minutes.
So Jinx flies out into shadow shades as the moon begins its descent. The moons begin their descent past the rim wall. There's faint gleam in the east as the second moon begins to rise as well, but everything's very dark. Most of the moons are in a later phase and aren't showing much of their illuminated sides. Jinx goes out and begins to look around. Oh, I never made you a character sheet for Jinx yet. I'll have to do that at some point.
It's all right. I have it up on D&D Beyond.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check for Jinx. Smell could conceivably be incorporated here, so you can make that at an advantage.
Okay. So, perception +5. So, 17.
17. Jinx lands on a roof kind of nearby and glances down at where the door is, stops and listens. There's a faint scrape of a foot as someone shifts their stance. She can pick up a slightly rank smell that stands out from the normal industrial smells. Something's down there, lurking. What do you have her do?
I'll have her walk down a little bit, like probably about 20-30 feet, and then fold the wings in as tight as she can and
Okay.
land on the ground and start walking down the street
Okay.
back towards what was underneath her.
All right.
Just act like a stray that she's been acting like the last 22 days that she's been gone.
Only now she has wings.
So Jinx begins to walk down there doing her best stray cat impersonation, hiding the fact that this stray cat can fly.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they're like pressed tight so that it just looks like
Right. It's dark enough that
Yeah,
it'll
it's-
just look like, hey,
Or
it's a
fur.
cat that's, maybe weirdly shaped because it's been
a-
living on the street for God knows how long.
It's a slightly chunky cat.
yeah,
Sure.
it's a well-fed stray.
And just have Jinx make a stealth check.
+4. 7.
Okay. Jinx goes down, starts walking past where they think they scented something hiding, and they hear a glance over, and there's 3 gnolls there, one of which looks up and then kind of scoops up a rock and just throws it at Jinx, who was definitely still seen.
Yep. AC is 12.
Jinx takes 1 point of damage.
And she yips or meows and does
And just tears off. Yep.
that. Tears off.
You seeing these gnolls through Jinx's eyes, go ahead and give me an insight check.
So good at these. 4.
Oh man.
These
Oh boy.
rolls.
Great rolls.
You're pretty sure you saw at least one of them with a longbow. The other ones looked like they just had like spears or something. But you're fairly certain that with your level of magic, you can, even if it comes into a toe-to-toe fight, you can take these 3. And Jinx didn't see anybody or notice anything else nearby.
Okay. So I will relay that there's multiple gnolls over there. One of them threw rocks at Jinx because, I don't know, they're an asshole.
Does Diamond know what a knoll is?
There's a number of them that frequently patronize your father's shop.
Okay.
But they were near the door.
They were kind of across from it and down a little bit.
Okay.
So other side of the alley and in a little recess.
Okay. So yeah, they're near. We might be able to sneak past them, but we could probably take them.
Okay. Well, I can do that thing again where I this is gonna sound super weird. Like commune with the stones around us, so we become really sneaky. I could try that again, and we could try to sneak past them. The door wasn't locked, was it?
Not that you saw.
No, I don't think so. I didn't see any more chains on it.
Let's try being sneaky first.
Okay. That's always I prefer. I'm still new to the whole murder thing and fighting.
If
So
it comes to that, cool. This doesn't use a spell slot, so all right. Let's sneak past these gnolls.
All right. So both of you make stealth checks with a +10.
Yeah. Okay.
24.
Wow. Okay,
Well,
here we
with
go.
the +10.
Yeah.
17.
17. All right. So you quietly begin to maneuver your way around the corner, down the alley, keeping to the shadows. And Cole, even as you with your dark vision are kind of watching your surroundings, it's weird how the shadows stick to you guys right now.
Yeah, this is
and occasionally, one of the moons will reach out from behind a cloud, but it always seems like whatever light hits the ground just manages to fall short of you guys as you take step after each other down this alley. You come up close to where those gnolls are seated in this little alcove, kind of a doorway sort of thing. And one of them kind of twitches his ears, and you see those canine nostrils sort of flare out a little bit as though it senses something. It just slowly edge past 1 foot at a time. And then it lowers that kind of hunchbacked head back down again. Must be nothing. And you guys sneak past right up to the door that is still standing there, unlocked.
Sneak 98.
There's 3 gnolls there. They rolled a 15, a 2, and a 1.
Oh my god!
Nice.
All you have to worry about is doing what you need to do and getting out. So,
Hey, every heist is a 3-stage process. You guys have to get in, all right. Now you just got to get the shit and get out.
Yep, I will leave Jinx back away to watch them and watch the door if anything else comes up behind us.
Okay.
Have her
Go ahead and make a perception check as you do then.
Okay.
Both for yourself and Jinx.
Okay, for me, here's mine.
Diamond, you can make this too if you want.
Mine is 23.
I got a natural 20.
Same as before for Jinx. With advantage.
Yes, because it is technically a smell.
13.
Okay. Yeah, Jinx is sitting down and sort of bristling but staying very quiet, eyeballing that fucker that hit her with a rock.
Yeah, remember his face.
Yeah.
Remember that rage.
Cole, you catch a little bit of a whiff. Diamond, you literally put your bare hand into the sticky patch on the door jamb as you walk past. That comes away. That's fresh blood. And definitely wasn't there before. And you glance down, and there's drag marks further down the alley.
Cool.
None on the inside, though, so apparently that was as far as whoever made it.
Cool. Cool.
And are you guys sneaking continually back down?
Yeah.
All right.
Really?
Roll those again.
With the plus 10?
Yeah, your pass without trace is still
Yeah.
definitely active. You probably took like a minute or two getting to where you're at.
Diamond definitely points out the blood to Cole, like,
Yeah, no, I smelled it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I got a 29.
29 and a 16. Okay.
Yes.
And you guys step down quietly as you can. Cole, you sort of trying to pick out the route as you go. You come once again to the doorway that you had unlocked. You going straight for the crystal, or are you stopping for a minute?
Anything new? Anything new here? No.
Checking.
The door is actually hanging open now
Okay.
because you had shut it behind you initially. But then,
Yes.
Wotan used it as a hiding place, which you guys were not aware of. But yeah, the door is just hanging wide open at this point, and you can see the couple crates in there.
Okay.
But nothing is amiss in the room. Can we check it out first?
I mean, I think we can see most of it from here. It's just the crates.
Cool.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any more blood or anything like that around here.
No blood. Nope. Just a couple footprints in the dust and crates.
Are the doors closable?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the less stuff we touch, the less noise we'll make.
True.
Let's just get in and get out.
Okay. We're not trying to activate anything. We don't need a light source or anything. Okay. Bear with me on this. We just got magic, and I kind of want to see what this does to this thing.
What is it?
So Diamond goes up to the crystal, and she lays a hand on it, and casts Earthbind.
Actually.
Oh, well, actually.
You have this idea,
Mm-hmm.
Diamond, of what you want to do.
Yes, I do.
And as you touch the crystal,
Mm-hmm.
you feel a resonance. There's a faint vibration in your crystalline chest stone that somehow harmonizes with the frequency of the facet record in front of you as you put your hand on it. Make me an Arcana check.
You're both about to explode.
It's going to be great. 10.
10. Okay. There's some level of elemental affinity, something about you and your chest stone and this crystal. There's a common thread here. It's not alive per se, the crystal, but there is an elemental spirit essence inside that you're not sure, but you might be able to communicate with or establish. You might be able to prepare this thing for whatever you're going to do.
Okay. Hi. My name's Diamond. You've been trapped down here for a very long time, and I'm going to try and get you out of here. But you're stuck really good, so I might have to try a few things first. But trust me that when I say I'm going to get you out of here intact and whole.
Make a persuasion check.
Convince the crystal.
I'm going to convince the crystal.
Bull's looking at you very confused.
As you
You're
should.
just talking at the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a second he thought you were talking to him.
You know my name already.
Yeah, I know. That's why he was like, I know you're Diamond.
Ooh.
That's a 5.
Okay.
Should have brought one of the fast talkers.
They wouldn't be able to talk to a rock.
There's not really a response, but a reaction. Some tiny mote of energy in there connects with the intent that you have. You feel like that might give you, at least metaphysically speaking, an anchor point for what it is that you're planning to do. Give me an insight check.
14.
Okay. So you have your idea. You have your concept. You've got your spell prepared. Just make me a flat spell attack roll. So D20 plus charisma plus proficiency.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't type it right. Sorry.
That's okay.
oh,
Oh.
Right.
Well,
Tell me what you're planning on. Describe what Diamond's going to do.
Wait a minute. do I get to add my proficiency to that?
Yeah,
So it's an 11.
an 11. Okay.
So Diamond grabs the crystal and casts Earthbind using herself as a focal point to try and draw this crystal to her and attach it to her somehow.
Okay. Make a strength save against your own DC.
10.
And what's your spell save DC?
My spell save DC, I believe, is a 13. Yep.
Okay. So you hold the crystal, and Cole, you see these golden bands of light just burst out of her body and lunge to entangle this crystal. And there's a moment of tension. And then all of a sudden, Diamond is flung forward with the force of the full impulse, smashing into the crystal itself and tumbling across it and over it and coming to a halt as the golden light fades. Diamond, you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
As there's this cracking, tumbling sound. And Diamond, you're holding the crystal in your hands. The stone base has snapped off, but it's not attached to you. But you have it.
Cool.
Also, that was loud.
Okay, we got it. Let's go.
Let's go to the room with the crates first.
Yeah.
And hang out there.
Yeah,
And
quiet.
when we get there, I'll look through Jinx's eyes to see if the gnolls probably notice, but see if they moved yet.
All right. So you guys pound down the tunnel, duck into the side room. I assume push the door closed behind you.
Yeah.
Yep.
As
And
quietly as possible. To
Right,
not
yeah.
alert them. Hear a loud ass crack, and then hey, there's only one metal door down here, and we just heard it clang shut.
right. At which point you make the connection with Jinx, who is currently being stampeded past by 3 gnolls in full run, who are headed into the door and down the tunnel.
As they're running through Jinx, I'm gonna yell, "Hey, you 3! What are you doing over there?"
One of them stops and whips around.
I want to make it sound like it was the thrown voice from a warder.
Give me a deception check.
24.
24.
Oh, wow. Thank you for being the rock here. With
That
the good
one
rolls.
gnoll slams up against the side of the door and kind of sticks his head out, looking both directions.
We're
The other
boned,
2
fellas.
are still running. And Diamond, you can start hearing them come.
Okay,
Uh,
it's fine.
the one that's hanging out there, I'm gonna have Jinx. I'm gonna try to throw my.
Well,
bolt.
at this point, we
Okay.
need to roll initiative.
All right.
Oh god.
Fun.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm
That's
just gonna
fine.
I'm gonna put you guys on the fights page,
Oh.
even though we didn't have to do the fight with Wotan.
Oh,
But
yeah.
go ahead and select your token.
21 for initiative.
16.
Oh. 4. They got a 4.
Yay.
So the pair of them slide up. But Cole, you hear them come to a halt more or less right outside the door, and you can hear the as they're employing their keen scent to try and find you guys. what do you do?
I'm gonna have. Right outside the door. Okay. I was gonna try to do something before they got to the door, but okay. I'm gonna have through Jinx. I'm gonna have Jinx yell, "This way! They went down here!" And have it be loud enough. Yeah, so that hopefully they'll hear.
Okay, so Jinx is still up by the door.
How far away is this second door again?
You guys are a good probably a couple 100 feet down the
Oh,
tunnel.
okay, never mind that then.
Okay.
I'm gonna have that's silent image. Doesn't make noise.
Nope.
Weird.
Yeah, no. On the left of them, farther down, can I see a little bit?
You are currently in a very small room with a closed door.
Oh, I thought it was barred.
No.
Just bars. Okay.
No.
Okay. Then yeah, no. Wherever the crates start, on the other side of the crate, I'll misty vision just a stone wall.
Okay.
From floor to ceiling, to make it look like this is a small room where there is nothing anymore.
Okay. Let me look up Misty Vision.
I will do this.
Yeah, that'll
Oh,
work.
that's just the. Nope, that's just the feet. I'll do this. There we go.
Okay. 15-foot cube. Yeah, that would definitely be enough. Okay. Right. Diamond, it's so you see this illusory wall spring up, kind of blocking the two of you off from the exterior.
Cool. I summon Thaw into my hand, and I also cast Armor of Shadows. Just
Okay.
get my sword, get my armor on, and I'm waiting quietly.
See a back paw kick the door open. And the gnoll with the spear there kind of tilts his head a little bit. Closes his eyes. And just flings the spear blindly at the wall. So this attack is definitely made with disadvantage.
At who's it?
And who is it?
Oh, what's your AC?
14.
14. So you're watching this, and all of a sudden a spear rips through the wall and just slams into your rib cage. You take 4 piercing damage.
Did the crates not count as cover of any kind?
No, they did.
Okay.
Just they rolled high enough that it didn't matter.
Oh. Well, shit.
Disadvantage helps, but not always.
Yep, no,
to
when they roll a
know.
19 and an 18, yeah.
Fuck.
Good to know.
Yep. And the other one charges in with its spear at the ready as well. And that one just charges straight through
I
the
have
wall
to
that
make
it
a
saw.
Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
still
The
there.
wall is still there, but now there's a gnoll halfway through it stabbing at Diamond. But that's a 5, so
Oh,
Diamond, I
no.
think you're okay.
No, yeah, that won't do it.
All right, and we're back to Cole.
So I will drop the wall because
Okay.
the jig is officially up.
If only
And-
certain presidents would do that.
And bonus action, spiritual weapon, the chain will snake out And come up behind the guy that threw the fucking spear at me. Take a swing at him. With a natural 20.
Yeah.
Ayo.
So 7 points of damage. And then, yeah, how far away is he from me?
He's basically right up in your face. Oh, the other guy who threw the spear?
Yeah,
Like 20 feet, maybe.
I'm shooting with my goddamn crossbow.
All right.
21.
That's a hit.
Holy shit.
9 points of damage.
Okay. So we have 7 and 9. Nice. All right, Diamond. There's a guy right up in your grill with a spear and a shield.
I also yelled, "That fucking hurt." As I
That
shot him.
fucking hurt. Yeah, I swipe at him with
Okay.
my sword. That's a natural 20. Yeah,
Nice.
fucking
Yeah.
crushing it.
If we needed it.
If we needed it, this is the guy that tried to hit me.
Yep.
Oh
The
my
one that the
God.
spiritual weapon took out.
Yes, this is the other guy, so he will take 16 points of damage.
15.
15. No,
15.
it's
11 and
11.
4?
yeah, it's 15. Right.
It's
Sorry.
15. Okay.
I'm so good at math.
I did.
That's okay.
I made the same mistake. Don't feel bad. 'Cause I was like, oh, that's 16. Wait, no, that's wrong.
Wait.
How do you want to do this?
Hey.
I imagine Diamond cuts through him, and you just feel, Cole, you feel like just the lightest, like the smell of like fresh grass being cut as this knoll gets cut down.
So you pull back for a slash,
Mm-hmm.
and you begin to push forward, and you feel just a single bare hand on your elbow just give it a little bit of a nudge.
Mm-hmm.
The blade slashes through, carving open the throat and dislodging several of the teeth and a little bit of the jaw. And there's just this spray of blood across both your body and the wall behind you. And you flinch back, expecting that sort of warm, nasty, metallic feel of liquid against you, which is weird that it's autumn leaves. And the knoll just smashes face down into one of the crates, smashing it partway open and revealing something inside that goes clink.
What's in the crate?
You might be able to find out on your next turn.
Blood settings were turned off.
Turn that
Oh no. No, there's plenty of blood from your shit.
Yeah. Yep.
The knoll in the door charges up with a spear. Does a 14 hit you, Cole?
Yes.
You take 6 piercing damage. And it sort of sets the shield as if to prepare itself, and you hear it. And you can hear more footsteps from the last one coming down the hallway.
All right.
But it's your turn again.
Okay. I will just drop my crossbow. Bonus action, spiritual weapon this guy.
Mhm.
Break across his back with a 20.
That's a hit.
7 force damage.
Okay.
And then reach out and chill touch him.
You reach out and chill touch someone.
21.
Absolutely. Spectral hand
2
clamps
points.
on him.
2 points of necrotic damage.
All right, he's looking
He
pretty rough.
He can't gain any hit points back in case he's got a goddamn healing potion.
He does
Get
not.
wrecked.
Diamond.
Yeah, gonna swing again. 23.
That's a hit.
7 points damage.
How do you want to do this one?
We're cleaning up. It's so nice.
I told you we could take him.
Yeah, it's great. Well, yeah, of course you did. You're so smart. Yeah, again, just I I guess the arms that lunged out for Cole, she just like goes down on top of them.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, just one quick blow. One of those arms goes at the elbow, and there's a spurt of blood. This time, actual blood that pools on the ground, and the knoll blinks as it loses a significant amount and just thuds back, bleeding out onto the stones. Which is when the last one shows up and stands in the doorway and just kind of pulls back an arrow and goes to shoot Diamond, who's apparently got a really big sword and is kind of freaking him out. Pulls it back and the bowstring snaps. I roll natural ones at the best times.
My AC is shit. This is so nice.
Cole, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna. Yeah. I'll chill touch this guy again, or for the first time.
Chill
12.
touched. For the
That is a miss.
first
All
time.
right. And then spiritual weapon is gonna turn around and 13.
Just hits. Because this guy did not have his shield out.
Max damage 11.
Heck damn. Check that out. And yep. So yeah, that chain just lashes him across the torso. And just rips into the upper shoulder and part of the flank, and there's a good bit of fur lost in that strike. Diamond.
Diamond points her sword at him, and her visage suddenly becomes very icy and dark, and you see kind of like lightning crackle around her, and she says, you've seen what we've done to your comrades. Run away with your tail between your legs or join them. And she's going to cast the Fey Presence and trying to intimidate him.
Okay, is that a wisdom save?
It is a wisdom save, DC 13. Come on.
He rolled a 14, unfortunately.
No! Works! Fine.
You see him grit his teeth, pull out a spear, chuck it at you, and run.
That's fine.
Because he ain't getting paid enough for this.
Of course not.
Does a 10 hit you?
No!
All right. So the spear just kind of clink into the stone, and this fucker is dashing. You want to let him go, or are you guys gonna try and chase him down?
I don't want to fight him, really. Like,
Well, Cole's up next.
Yeah, I don't want to fight him either. There's no way that is there any way that I could get within 10 feet of him?
Yeah.
Or was he too far away?
I mean, you mean 10 feet with an action still? Or do you just mean get within 10 feet of him?
10 feet with a yeah, because I can't sprint with a bonus action. I just need a bonus action.
Okay. You can use your action to dash and get within 10 feet of him.
Okay.
Which would leave you with a bonus action.
Yep. When I get within 10 feet of him, I'm going to use my bonus action to mark the scent. So until my next long rest, I have advantage if I'm tracking him. And I always know where he is if he's within 60 feet of me.
All right.
So I'm remembering his scent.
cool.
Diamond, what are you doing?
No, yeah. Diamond's just like, okay, cool. He ran away. Awesome. I look in the crate.
Okay. There are a number of empty bottles in there, roughly about 4 or 5 inches tall, all with corks. One of them, however, is full.
I will take like a handful of the empty ones and then definitely the full one. So like I'll take 5 empty ones and then that full one.
Okay.
You never know when you need empty vials.
Yes,
Yep.
all the time.
Yeah, no, as you pick up the full one, there's a bluish liquid in there that kind of bubbles a little bit and raises steam. None of it gets out because it's corked shut.
Can I roll anything to know what that is?
This is pretty far outside your realm of expertise, so if you get a natural 20 on an Arcana check, I'll say you've maybe heard of this before.
Oh, I don't.
That's a 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 doesn't count. Nope, you don't know what this is, but I mean, it's definitely a potion of some sort, you would hazard a guess.
Cool.
But you don't know which one or what kind.
I don't get advantage to track them. I just get to double my proficiency bonus.
Right.
Yeah. I'll stop and then turn around. It's made it clear that he's running. And then head back to Diamond. Be like, okay, we should really go now.
No. We should definitely go now. I found a thing. We should show it to the people and maybe also the crystal. Holy fuck, that was wild. Yeah, we should get back.
You just leaving the dead bodies, or are you trying to hide them, or?
I'm gonna ruffle through their pockets real quick.
Okay. You come from the two dead ones. You come away with 40 gold.
Whoa!
Yo,
Whoa!
Yo!
50-50?
50-50.
Chase
Yeah.
down the other one. He's got gold.
Holy shit.
There are also a couple other crates in this room still that you do notice.
I do have a crowbar. 5 minutes to open up the other crate.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I'll have Jinx just keep watch outside. Did she? While she's popping the crates, I'll look through Jinx's eyes. Do I see the Knoll haul ass?
You see him hauling ass out down the alley. Like, yeah, he's just turning the corner as you.
Okay, I'll have
the
Jinx follow him to the corner. That way, if he comes back with friends, we can leave before he gets to the corner.
All right, so Jinx posts up on the corner.
Because, I don't want to get caught in between this and the door again.
No, we don't.
Right, make an athletics check with advantage there, Diamond.
Really? 9.
It takes you about a minute and a half to get the first board open.
I'm still shaking.
Yeah, you're like, Right. This one has potion bottles in it as well, one of which is full. Make me an investigation check too.
I'm rubbing my spirit wound.
Oh, nope. Sorry. That wasn't supposed to be.
That's okay. 15 works. As you lift the potion, the little rack of potion bottles out, you also notice that this crate has a false bottom.
Diamond hands the rack to Cole, like, hold this, and goes for the false bottom. Wait. No. Cole, can you please check the false bottom and see if it's trapped or not?
One of the potion bottles in that rack is full as well.
No, I definitely take that one, but
Sure.
do you do trappy
Check.
stuff?
No, I normally pick locks. I've never actually seen a trap. But I can look for one.
This feels like a trap. I don't know.
Give me an investigation check, Cole.
18.
Don't see anything that looks like a trap to you. You don't really know what those look like, but
Exactly.
nothing here seems to shout one.
Yeah, I don't see any of the classic wires or sharp objects pointed in my direction. So we're good.
Cool. Then I'll open it. Yeah. You got hit a bunch. I'll open it.
Okay. Yeah, you pop it open and there's a coin pouch down there.
Ooh. How much is in the coin pouch?
Do you take the time to count it here?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's just hold on to
We'll
this.
just take that. Like, Diamond brought a backpack. Just got the crystal in there, the 2 potions, the coin pouch, extra vials. Is there another crate in here?
No, those were the only 2.
Cool. Let's book it.
Let's get out of here. I'll check with Jinx real quick to make sure we're still in the clear.
Yeah, Jinx is like just catting it up out there.
I'll take the stop licking your crotch. Look down the alleyway.
Jinx has his legs stuck straight up. Has her legs stuck straight up in the air and gives you a look like, "Don't tell me what to do."
Diamond. This is gonna be a little morbid for Diamond. Diamond takes some of the no blood and writes on the wall, "Too slow," and leaves.
So
I'll
you definitely have enough money to buy a coach back if you want.
Yeah, I'll prestidigitation the blood off any off us, if there is any.
Don't worry, it's mine.
Don't worry, it's fine.
You should see the other guy.
I feel like I am seeing the other guy.
Yeah.
Covered in leaves. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, there are some weird leaves that you leave behind down there.
Leave behind. I regret nothing.
Yep.
I have an electrum piece that I don't want in my pocket anymore. Can I use that?
Yes, you can.
I have how much? I don't know how that translates.
It was
Electrum is half gold.
Yep, Electrum is 5 silver. So basically, you'll get a silver back.
Cool. Yeah, I'll use
if you
one of
take
those.
the same coach rate thing.
Yeah, that thing. Dope. Do that.
Okay. And you guys, after a few hours, it's probably pushing maybe 2 a.m. right about now.
Diamond is so awake right now.
So do you enter quietly so as not to disturb anybody else?
Yeah. No. Time to go to sleep.
I
Well.
would still be awake.
So
Yeah.
Aurelia, Diamond and Cole just kind of vanished without telling anybody, and then you hear the door open.
I spent some time trying to cat-proof the tank because Cole's brought a cat home.
That Cole.
Always bringing home those non-traditional cats.
I might still be awake, but hopefully not here.
Okay.
I'm trying to get work. We need money.
I am asleep, but depending on how much noise they make, I'm definitely a light sleeper given my profession.
I'll probably
make me a perception check with disadvantage there, Major.
I probably won't make a whole bunch of noise. It'll probably be Diamond.
It'll definitely be me. Yeah.
Yeah, your pass without trace has definitely faded. So if you're trying to sneak inside, make me a stealth check.
Cool. I'm so good at these because I try to sneak past my mom all the time. Fuck.
So Diamond comes in and she's like, all right, we're going to be super quiet. Diamond, however, can't see in the dark and trips over a chair.
It's my fault. I let her leave.
Clang.
You did.
I opened the hooded
That's
lantern.
great. I'm so good at this. I always try to sneak past my mom. Natural one.
After she makes a big
Major,
ruckus.
you're like, are we being robbed?
I'll set my light cantrip up and start walking slowly down the stairs.
I will try to climb the thing to the roof because I don't want to be associated with all this noise.
No.
A little too late. Aurelia's already seen you.
Damn it.
Well,
Cole, don't leave me in this.
So you see me reach up in it?
Closer to your mic, Mara.
welcome back, you two.
Hey, Aurelia.
Hi. Did you have fun?
Yes, we did. We had a lot of fun, right, Cole?
No, I got stabbed.
You
That was decidedly not fun.
No, no.
Okay.
I
Now I know where you went. Okay.
Really, that could have been anywhere here in Knives.
I must say, yeah, no, we got
I could have went to the
stabbed.
bar.
We're in a
True.
district that is literally called Knives Font, as in fountain of knives.
Okay. So you got stabbed.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. How was it recreationally?
Never
No.
recreationally.
Not my
Okay.
thing.
Stabbings.
Recreational stabbing.
Yes.
That's my department. Stop trying to weasel in on my territory.
I don't know who these people are.
Okay.
Colas said absolutely nothing to me.
Okay. Okay. So, remember how we? Hi, Major. So you remember how we promised that other group that we wouldn't go back to the crystal place?
Yes.
We went back to the crystal place.
Uh-huh.
But good news. And Diamond opens up her bag and pulls out the crystal.
So, for my benefit, which of you are injured?
Just Cole.
That'd be the one with the
Alright.
the hole in their armor.
Major will tap you.
Oh, thank goodness you're here, and not at your place.
That was
That does sound like you made poor decisions.
unwise.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we did it.
We did
We
it.
got it- we
But
got
we
it
did
done.
it. We did
I
it.
understand you did it.
Diamond holds up her hand to high five Cole. We did it.
High five.
No!
So, Jack, potentially relevant information. Where am I? I don't know if we need to figure that out yet.
Give me just a straight charisma roll.
That's a 20.
Yeah, you found a date. Mhm.
All right, I'm getting paid.
Yep.
Don't care.
He's the one that's recreationally stabbing.
Yeah, that's his job.
No, you met a very nice lady who was also a tiefling, who has a surprising number of scars above her left temple, and tends to wear her hair kind of shaved right there, probably on purpose, to show those off.
Lots of kinky things you can do with 2 sets of tails and 2 sets of horns.
I mean, that's fair, and you guys explore a number of those. Anyway, Major,
Back to the admonishing.
Incredibly ill-advised. What if you had gotten ambushed down there?
Would have if I didn't have Jinx.
Show up the next morning.
Well, I hope you understand the value of your word and what that implies.
You probably went and saw it and looked at it like an hour after we left. If we're in this to win the games, holding to words is a nice sentiment, but people that I frequently deal with, word only goes as far as money, and if you have the money, you don't really need to keep your word. And they seem like people with lots of money.
Yeah, but
As-
next time, can you bring other people with you so it's not just
Oh,
two
definitely.
of
Then
you?
it would have been a fair fight.
I don't know. I think we cleaned it pretty well.
Yeah, we did. That one guy ran.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, they were
God damn
gnolls.
it!
There were gnolls. Don't worry.
I am worrying.
What you're saying is you left witnesses, Wotan says as he steps down the stairs.
Yeah, we've made enough noise.
We definitely made enough noise at this point. There were already people who probably knew about this. One gnoll,
Can go a long way.
Yeah, he can. He ran fast.
he ran really fast.
that motherfucker was so scared.
That civilized discussion is failing. I will leave explaining why this was a poor decision to you. Now I am headed back up to fucking sleep because
As you should.
Thank you for trying.
Mage is like, I am 450 years old.
I don't have
I
time
do
for
not
these
have time
fucking
for
children.
this shit.
These 2 kids that definitely went off to do something very dangerous.
If I'd wanted kids, I would have had kids. Damn it.
So there's a couple of logical flaws in the statements you've made thus far. First, we're trying to overthrow the government and establish a new one. Your word is going to be very important in that because people need to follow you.
Yeah.
The ability to keep your word is going to be paramount because we need people to trust us enough to get behind us. Second, you left a witness, which means there's someone out there who can prove that you didn't keep your word. There's someone out there who can bring attention to you. We don't want attention on us until we're ready to move. Until no one should know that we're moving until it's too late to stop us. If you were going to go down there, no one should have seen you. And anyone that did see you should have been swimming in the river by now.
No one would have saw us if we had been a little more quiet.
I
But
did my best.
you did.
You were going to break a crystal statue. Did you think no one was going to hear that?
You should have saw how she broke it, though. That was the loud part.
Pretty
That
loud.
doesn't change my question.
Helping your case. None whatsoever.
But the word thing, I totally agree that if we're going to overthrow the government, we need to keep our word to anybody that we get to follow us. Other warlocks and other compacts are not going to follow us. So
The problem with that
fuck them.
is that even if they don't matter in the long run, they can affect our reputation.
Yep. Even if
Our reputation is the only thing that we've got to make people follow us.
We don't even know if those gnolls were connected. They were watching out, but we don't know who was paying them to watch that place.
We don't, and that's the problem.
yes.
Unknowns are bad. Unknowns could be anything. Unknowns could be worse than those same group of warlocks. That could lead to the guard kicking down our door in the next couple of days.
I mean, the guard could kick down a door in the next couple of days anyway. Like, I get what you're saying, Wotan. This was super dangerous, but so is us being warlocks in the great game.
It is.
So when you say
Risks
that,
need to be managed.
Don't go looking for risks.
When a risk is taken, it needs to be measured against the reward.
Oh, Jack was messing with the roll 20. I thought I was having a stroke there for a second.
Things were disappearing.
Yeah, stuff was happening.
Because what did you get out of this?
this. I got this.
What use is that?
Even have the message anymore? Can I see it? I'm like reaching out for it.
Diamond kind of very harshly puts it in your hand.
Yeah, I'm looking at this thing. Can I tell if it still has the same message, or would I need to like activate it to?
You'd probably need to activate it to tell. But you've got a hooded lantern.
I do. I will light it. Actually, it's a bullseye lantern. Oops.
Okay.
I will light that and kind of like try and get it started while Wotan continues.
Yep.
Because who's to say that we are the first to have seen that message? We're almost certainly not. Because any compacts that were already in Shadow Shades could have seen it first if they'd gotten the same messages that we did. And just because you've taken it doesn't mean that message isn't going to still spread. Rumors travel quickly. Word travels fast.
You know what,
People are
Wotan?
going to think about it.
Diamond dumps the the potions and the other empty flasks onto the table, and she closes her bag. She puts it on. She says, "If I wanted to be lectured, I'll go back home. I don't need this from you right now." And Diamond leaves.
Diamond, in your mind. Do you still leave?
What do you say?
Diamond, we're trying to help you stay alive. Do you remember him on the table?
Yeah. I also remember the 2 gnolls that I just killed in the alleyway. Or in the ground.
So if you head out there, what are you going to go find? Just head back home? You won't stay there.
Yeah, but it'll give me time to cool off, and I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt my reputation.
In this house? Listen, we're all just trying the best we can right now. That doesn't matter in this house what you say. Outside, yes, absolutely. Our actions outside, In here, it is not too late.
Diamond turns around and she points to the crystal. She says, do whatever you want with that. Take the message, use it to put other messages in it, sell it to get your gun.
I'm not going to sell it. I say that part out loud.
I'm doing my best, and I'm sorry my best isn't as good as everybody else's.
Oh no, your best is damn good. You apparently took out 3 gnolls just by the 2 of you.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have noticed, but I'm only a half a hand in a fight. I'm much better at planning and talking.
Have I managed to get the light?
Yep. Message plays. Same as before.
Okay.
But it's not a matter of how good you are. You're very good, and that's important. What matters is we're playing a very dangerous game. And at any point, bad things can happen. And we've got to measure risk and reward. Hopefully nothing comes of this. Hopefully you just saved us a little bit more competition. I'm skeptical on that, but it's a possibility. But in the future, just talk with the rest of the group about your plans.
Will you do the same?
Sure, what do you want to know?
Where were you this afternoon?
I went to track down a woman who's very important to me. The woman who had situations been different, and perhaps even now, I would spend my life with. Even though she's at least once attempted to take my life. And I've learned that this guard captain that I mentioned when I get back is holding her niece as hostage to keep her doing jobs for him. So I've got a little bit of a personal vendetta that I need to deal with this guard captain.
Oh.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, I mean, again, that goes along with all the stuff we were doing.
Yeah, it lines up with our objectives, so I'm even more inclined to it. But this particular guard captain I need to deal with.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Cole, is your cat house trained?
God, that's dry. Yeah, she's mostly an outside cat. Why?
Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be an issue with the tank.
No, I think if it came down to it, your octopus could probably drown her, but
Not entirely sure about that, but okay.
I prefer it if, yeah, I'll tell Jinx, don't go in the fish tank.
Thank you. By the way, Wotan, that octopus is my sister, so just don't empty the tank for any reason.
That's
Like how now everybody but Hedon knows that.
Yes, because you laughed.
That's interesting.
I went to make money to help you. Thank you very much. I'm the only one working in this goddamn house.
I know.
Well, and that too. And Diamond pulls out the
I'm sorry you don't respect my career, young man.
You know, the actual guild member might have some words to say about that. But Diamond pulls out what?
Diamond pulls out the 20 gold from the knoll and then the coin pouch that was in the trap door.
I do not pull out my 20 gold.
No, you're fine. Diamond doesn't snitch on you either. She's just like, got this from the knolls, found this in the trap door.
Whoa. How much is it?
We count it out.
The purse itself contains 78 gold, 24 silver, and 160 copper.
78,
Oh.
24.
Okay.
78, 24. Yeah.
But the point here is, at this point, we're a crew, and we sink or swim together. So anything that you do off on your own brings risks with us too. Just consider that.
Okay.
If you're really worried about, well, I'll probably won't have his scent when I wake up, but
I'm not all that worried, honestly.
He didn't see us long enough to, I think, get a decent look at us.
In all honesty, that was going to come to a head at some point anyway. You may have cut it off from getting worse.
Yeah, they had already killed somebody before we got there.
Oh yeah. They were obviously
there was
waiting
blood
for,
on the door when we went in. So
they were
Fair
waiting
enough.
specifically for us. They were waiting for whoever went there.
yeah.
Fair enough. Just consider, like I said, you're not on your own anymore. Your actions have an impact not just for yourself, but for the rest of us.
I mean, the game is afoot. We gotta start making fucking headway.
Yep.
And with that declaration, as everybody sets in for a rather late bedtime, that is where we will close for this evening. Thank you all for coming with us on this next stage of the adventure, and we will be back again next week. But first, Nikki.
Yeah. Hey guys, I won't be here next week because I will be doing a charity event here in Atlanta called Slady's Night. It's being hosted by ATL D&D, where we are going to have all the bars along Edgewood, Joystick, Nonies, and Bone Lick hosting charity games and free jump-in games, all run by wonderful ladies of ATL D&D. We have raised $1,400 for Girls Inc. of Atlanta. We plan to raise more as the week actually starts. If you guys want to look up any information about Slady's Night, you can look it up on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, or at atldnd.com. Come out and support, or just donate to Girls Inc.
I believe the Final Show Films Twitter account has retweeted a few things, and we'll try and retweet it again.
And you can follow. You can follow Nikki at the Wigged DM for more updates on Twitter. And again, Final Show Films Twitter account has been tweeting things as well. Say goodbye, everybody. Bye. Goodbye.
Ocean, we tear along the gales with rum inside our bellies, warm and freedom in our sails. A wayward bunch of scoundrels, assassins, thieves and slaves. The rich and blue bloods fear us when we hunt upon the waves. And when you see it coming, that flag of baleful black, no point in turning tail, there's no escaping our attack. Yo ho, yo ho, we roll beneath the black flag, a rollicking we go, we own the sea and sky. Yo ho, we of ancient deeds. We follow in the footsteps of a silent secret creed.